to the demonstration with big data transformations. In this demonstration, we will show an aggregation job doing sums. This demo will show how to use the IRI Workbench to create an aggregation job doing sums. The aggregation is accomplished using the SortCL tool in CoSort. Workbench is used to create the job script with the SortCL language. Then Workbench can run the job script. There are multiple types of aggregations available with CoSort. They are sum, sums a column of numbers; average, finds the average of a column of numbers; maximum, finds the maximum in a column of numbers; minimum, finds the minimum in a column of numbers; count, counts the number of records. You may have an aggregation record that is based on the evaluation of all the records in the job, or you may have intermediate aggregation records. These intermediate records are produced when a specific condition, called a break condition, is met. In addition, any number of intermediate record levels can be specified. That is, you can have subtotals within subtotals. In many cases, the condition is a single field name. For that case, the sort key is the field used for the break field, and a new aggregation record is created every time the value of the sort field changes. Click on the arrow next to the stopwatch to begin this CoSort job. Select New Sort Job. This brings us to the job specification file screen. Folder is the project folder and will be /aggregation. You can browse to the desired project folder. The file name is the name for the job script. Type in the file name AGGR. Workbench will add the .scl. Click Next. This brings us to the Data Sources screen. Click Add Data Source. Make sure the File's radio button is selected. Browse to the file sales.csv and double-click. Click OK. I previously created a metadata file for the input source. Click Add Existing Metadata. This brings us to the Open Metadata screen. Make sure that the aggregation project folder is selected. There is a drop-down menu that contains the names of the project folders. Under the Matching Items section, double-click on sales.ddf, located in the metadata directory under the aggregation project directory. Click Next. Now we are on the sort screen. Here we will define the fields for the sort. Expand the tree under the Input Fields column so that we can see the fields. We will have subtotals of the amount field every time the store number changes. Therefore, the file needs to be sorted on the field storenum, and the records will be grouped by the field storenum. Select storenum in the Input Fields column. Click Add Key. Click Next. This brings us to the Data Target screen. Click Add Data Target. Make sure the File radio button is selected. Type aggr.out for the output file. Click OK. Select Target Field Layout. Now we are at the Target Field Layout screen. The top half of the screen contains the field definitions for the source. All of the input field definitions are in the output. Right-click on the field Amount. Select Aggregation. Select Add Below. You will see a new field line where the field type is Sum and the field name is New Aggregation. Click on the field name in that line. Type in Sum Amount. To replace the default field name of New Aggregation, double-click in the area where field type is located. This brings us to the target field screen, where parameters can be defined for the field that is named in the field name box. Under the line that says Derive New Field Value, the Aggregation Radio button is selected. The box that is next to New Value is used to define the aggregation. The /sum indicates that a sum will be calculated. The name Sum Amount is the name of the field where the calculated sum will be placed. The field Amount is the field from where the values are taken for the calculation of the sum. The field name Amount was put there because that was the field line that was selected when we created the aggregation field. Click the button at the end of the New Value box. This brings us to the aggregation screen, where we can finish defining the aggregation. Notice that there is a drop-down menu where the aggregation type can be changed. From has the radio button for fields selected, and a drop-down menu with the input field names that could be used for calculating the aggregation. Since we want a break condition, click on the button next to the line for Break on Condition. This brings us to the Expression Builder screen. The expression box is where the break condition will be built. Under the Categories column, select Field Names. This causes the input field names to be listed in the Items column. Double-click on the field StoreNum. This places StoreNum in the expression box. Click Finish. On the aggregation screen, the Break on Condition box now contains the name StoreNum. Click OK. On the target field screen, the New Value box now reads /sum, sum amount, from amount, break, StoreNum. This line defines the aggregation as follows. A sum is being performed. The results of the sum will be placed in the field Sum Amount. The values for the sum will be calculated from the values in the input field Amount. Whenever a new value for StoreNum is encountered, a new record is created where the current sum value will be placed in the field Sum Amount and the summing will restart. Since this field will be the result of numeric calculations, we need to change the data type from ASCII to numeric. From the drop-down menu, select Numeric. These amounts are dollar amounts. Therefore, we need to have 2 decimal places in this field. Verify that Precision has a 2. Click OK. We do not need the fields Department Num, Amount, or Date in the output. Right-click on each field in turn and select Remove. Looking at the position column, you can see that the positions are not sequential. Click on Reposition Fields. Now the field numbers are sequential. Click OK. Click Finish. This concludes the steps necessary for defining this aggregation job. The center portion of Workbench now contains the job script file aggr.scl. It has all the commands in the SortCL language that were generated by the process we just completed. This text file can be edited using Workbench or a text editor of your choice. Now we can run the job script. Click on the green arrow in the toolbar. The output file has been placed in the project. Alternately, the job script can be run in a batch script or from the command line. By double-clicking on the file aggr.out, we can display it in the center screen of Workbench. We can see that there were 3 different values for StoreNum, with a record for each. The sum of the values for the amount fields associated with each StoreNum is in the next field of the record. This concludes this demo where we did an aggregation sum. This sum had a break condition so that a subtotal was calculated and a record was produced each time that the break condition was met. Thank you for watching Big Data Transformations, where we did an aggregation job with sums. For more information, you can visit us on the web at www.iri.com.